It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
Just use AmPace.
AmPace.
With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US. Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at Ulike, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ULIKE.com. Ulike.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated. Each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. And Cam, thumbs up. Can you hear me okay? All right. Look, this is not our finest hour right now. From a production standpoint, my microphone, we're having trouble with that. And the camera is not like the high def we're used to, because everything stopped working right before we came on here. And let's just keep it as is for now. I'm going to actually unplug that. So we're good. We're presented by Slovakics, by the way, which I got to continue to harp on that, how important it is, the opportunity that we all have to stop in, to go to Slovakics, right? To get the opportunity to see Ray, to be a part of this, right? And when we're all a part. Cam, can you hear me? Okay. I look at Cam in the bottom of the screen, and he does this number like, I don't know. That's like something going on in his life, not my life. So that's good to know. So Secor Family Ford also involved in making this whole thing happen. First National Bank of Central Texas. Daniel Stark Injury Lawyer is a huge part of this whole thing. And we're really happy to have everybody. Crawford Austin Properties especially. Best commercial real estate in Central Texas and into the Houston area. But we're here today. We're going to talk to Lofa Tatupu, okay? Seattle Seahawks, great. Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl participant. Also, a legacy that stretches back, or I guess you would say he is part of the legacy through his father, Mosi Tatupu, of the New England Patriots, and one of the greatest Super Bowl runs, really, of all time, that ended with the Pats getting fried in '85 in New Orleans. I was actually, it's funny, Cam and I were talking earlier this week about being in New Orleans, or we talked about the places that we most like when you enter this arena or this historic place, right? You just kind of get that feeling like, wow. I had that recently going to New Orleans. I did the Tulane game and being there, and we stayed right near the Superdome. And just being right by that Superdome, I did think of that '85 Super Bowl. Like, so much history in that building, but that was the one where the Patriots got shellacked. That was Lofu's father, Mosi's team. Their playoff run up until then was absolutely fascinating. I had no idea how many turnovers they generated. And in 3 games, I think it was like 15 or 16 takeaways.
16.
Something. 16. Marino, they got 6 out of Marino. They got 5 out of the Raiders in the divisional playoff game. And then you get 4 in your first one. I think it was the Jets you guys beat. Yeah. So you won, by the way, you win at the Meadowlands, you win in Oakland, or no, I'm sorry, in LA, and then you win. They were 0-19, Mosi's Patriots, 0-18, their last 18 games at the Orange Bowl. And then they won. They squished the fish, right? They snapped that streak. So that run, it's funny because Visser, we were chatting about this a little bit, and he talked about Lofu's father, Mosi, being one of the most popular Patriots really of all time. And he's up there because I can remember he really, as a running back on that team, I would say he overshadowed Craig James during that playoff run. As far as, and I'm not even talking about production, I'm talking about in a world where it was Jim McMahon, Mr. T, Hulk Hogan, like a guy like Mosi Tatupu fit right in, right? Like that's what the 80s was. So I'm really excited to talk to Lofu about his father and obviously about his affiliation with the Seahawks and his career with the Seahawks. We're going to talk about coaches today, college coaches, NFL coaches, and one guy who was tremendous at one job and not so hot at the other, Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz, you get the news this morning, you see he's in hospice care. And that is like a heartbreaker, but we're going to get to Lou Holtz, right? He goes into hospice, and I saw news of this this morning, and it was like, it's one of those, partially I'm like, man, that's such a bummer about Lou Holtz going into hospice care. But then there's another part of it where you're like, well, you know, he's old, right? Like, it's like a guy like Lou Holtz, whenever he shows up on my TV screen or my phone or whatever, I'm always really grateful. I'm like, man, like Lou Holtz, right? He left us truly with so much, especially for me growing up watching Notre Dame every Saturday on NBC. He had so many good teams. We won a national championship. Amazing coaching jobs at Minnesota, Arkansas. You know, he had that cup of coffee in the NFL with the Jets. It did not go well. Like when Joe Walton comes in on the back end, right, it makes you look bad. That's not good. Right. And so, like, that's really what happened with Lou Holtz in college. Now, the thing about Lou Holtz that was so special was his ability. I mean, you look at Lou Holtz, right? He does not strike you as a guy who was a starting running back, you know, and I guess we're talking about like kind of like real old school football. So maybe he does look the part, but he definitely doesn't look like, you know, he's coming out of a phone booth dressed like Superman anytime soon. That's not Lou Holtz's demeanor, right? That's not his, or I shouldn't say, it's not his physical impression. But then there's another side of that, right? When you look at Lou Holtz and you think, this guy had the ability, and we talked to Christian Fourier about this earlier this week, and I think any player, and I guess I have been on this recently, we talked about Mike Vrabel, and that's what we talked about with Fourier, and we talked about how Vrabel has the ability to connect with these guys, right? To reach inside them and grab something in their soul that really sometimes only an amazing motivator can do, or maybe it's somebody who has been there before you, like a former player, right, that can motivate and also hit you over the head with experience. You also have to get players to believe in you, right? And Lou Holtz had the ability to do that. Lou Holtz had the ability to find that spot in a player and to get that player to believe with it in him. Great example, right? Tony Rice. Tony Rice was a Prop 48 kid. He was a quarterback at Notre Dame. What's Prop 48? Well, Prop 48 was basically if you didn't have the grades, like I was Prop 48. Like I really was. Like the NCAA clearinghouse, would not clear me to play because my core grades weren't above a certain status, right? So if your grades didn't meet a certain status or your SATs didn't meet a certain status, you didn't have everything you needed to bake the cake, which was to play and be eligible to play in college sports. Like my core grades were low, so my SATs had to be higher. Luckily, they were, so it all came together, right? Like I never went to class or anything. I did go to class, but when I was there, I wasn't there. You get what I'm talking about. So I became eligible, right? Because my core got up high enough where my SATs, everything was okay. I had I forget what it was, but like a 1050, 1100 SAT, and my grades were terrible. But finally I was eligible. With Tony Rice, I think his SATs were way too low. So Tony Rice is a guy who goes to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a really good school and believes in Lou Holtz. Not only will Lou Holtz work with him to get him eligible, but also Lou Holtz is going to work with Tony Rice to make sure that he is looked upon as, campus man around Notre Dame. And Tony Rice has talked about this. He exposed Tony Rice to opportunities that Tony Rice would have never had otherwise. And Tony Rice becomes like a student athlete at Notre Dame when that really mattered and was special, but also is able to elevate who he is as a person through play on the football field. This is all through Lou Holtz, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's not, Tony Rice has a lot to do with it, and so do his parents and all that, but Lou Holtz has a huge hand in this, right? And Tony Rice's team, that 1987 Notre Dame team, they go undefeated. They win the Fiesta Bowl. They beat West Virginia. And these guys walk together with memories they'll cherish for the rest of their lives and their bonds, right? It just transcends almost being an individual person, sharing these experiences with a team, right? So in that instance in college, it can really move him, Tony Rice, and the rest of his teammates into a whole nother, just a whole nother realm of society, really, right? Through the connections you make through Notre Dame and the lessons you learn. So when I see, and by the way, after he leaves Notre Dame, he reinvents himself again at South Carolina and does a hell of a job there, Lou Holtz does. But all along the way, he's touching these souls. He's having an opportunity to vibe with these guys and make them better people than they are, ultimately better football players. So when I see this, that Sam Acho, recently it's announced, Todd Monken's going to be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Not exciting for any of us, right? But it would behoove everyone on that team and in that organization to follow Todd Monken's lead, to give him a chance to be a successful leader. By no means do you want any player, and if I was advising any player with the life experience that I have, would I ever say to anybody walk in there, pay Todd Monken no mind, don't respect him, do whatever you want to do. In fact, I want Todd Monken to sell himself to you. That's the worst advice I could ever give anybody on the Cleveland Browns. The worst. Because what I'm doing is, if I'm telling you to do that, one, I'm showing you, hey, it's okay to have a BS relationship and attitude towards authority in your organization. Look, man, I'm not trying to put us in a time machine and take us back to the Stone Ages or the Dark Ages or what anybody thinks was a time when there was we were all being overwhelmed by being told what to do by other folks. But the fact of the matter is, if we want everybody rowing, if we want success, everybody's got to row in the same direction. And that direction starts with whoever is in charge of whatever entity you are working with and working for. Now, certain coaches, and we've heard this before, will start to act foolish, disrespect players, right? That can lead to a mutiny in the locker room. And when that's necessary, it happens. But in order for a team to win and be successful, you have got to go in there with a mindset of, I'm going to do everything I can to make the team better, right? So Shedeur Sanders, you would think, and I honestly, watching Shedeur Sanders play, I have no reason to believe he's not going to go in there and put his best foot forward. This is not about Shedeur Sanders so much as it is about the attitude of the player in the NFL today or in college today. And here's what I'm getting at. This is Sam Acho, and these are his comments around what he thinks Shedeur Sanders should do upon finding out that Todd Monken's his new head coach. Go ahead, Cam.
If I'm Shedeur or anybody in that locker room, why am I listening to Todd Monken? What have you won on an NFL level as a head coach? You're not even a head coach on an NFL level. So I don't even have expectations for Shedeur under Todd Monken because I believe any expectations I would have, he would not meet. Because why am I excited about it, T?
I'm not quite like sure I get it. Like, this is a guy who, by the way, like you had heard, he comports himself as a leader in the locker room. Like, that's not a leader. That's not how you lead. You don't lead with dissension immediately. Like, that's not how you win. And Todd Monken deserves a fair shake. Todd Monken deserves the opportunity to impact these guys' lives, like Lou Holtz was able to impact a young man like Tony Rice. And if Todd Monken pours everything he has into Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders reciprocates that relationship, there's a true possibility, a real possibility that the Browns are better and Shedeur Sanders is better, specifically as it relates to Shedeur Sanders. Like, that's the worst advice you could ever give anybody. A guy who, for whatever reason, has a little bit of stink on him as far as like how he is going to handle himself around a new head coach, right? This is a guy that everybody's going to be watching. So if he were to ultimately take a pass at showing respect on the new head coach in the organization, all that does is set the team up to fail, to set him up individually to fail. It's like the worst idea you could ever have. So there's just an overall frustration there for someone like me who wants to see Shedeur Sanders do well, who wants to see the sport of football continue to change people, even at the professional level, like it changed me, a guy who was not able to play but still was able to be a part of a team. I went to Richmond. I had a heart problem. If you don't know the situation, which why would you? And I couldn't play. So, but they made sure that I was a part of the team, and they fostered growth and development in me. And there was plenty of growth and development that had to be done after I left school, but they certainly gave me a head start. And I just think denying yourself that opportunity, if you're Shedeur or any of the other Cleveland Browns, is the worst advice you could ever give somebody. So I would hate to think that that's something that would ever come to fruition, and I don't believe it would, but it's just the ultimate silliness. And to put like a bow on this topic, my biggest fear is that this is where we're at, like mentally, and where we're, coming out of college. There's every reason in the world to compensate these athletes and to give them the money that they are earning, right? The money that they are commanding in college. But there's also, guys in the NFL have been getting paid millions of dollars for a long time. And you can look at the structure of how they get paid and certainly how they get used. It's pretty screwed up. The sport of football in general is something that is beyond fascinating, if you want to break it down. Like, I ain't looking to go Bob Costas on anybody right now and and talk about, like, from my perch about why concussions and football and players are being taken advantage of. Like, that's not what I'm here to do. But it is fascinating. The sport itself is fascinating. And the players could certainly be treated better on the back end of their careers. But there is still opportunity to make millions of dollars doing something that you love, which is pretty awesome when you think about it, right? And when you think about the guys who can make it to the NFL, it's just such a small sliver of society. But we've seen these guys be compensated very well for years without being able to, like we're seeing in the college game now, just break any kind of relationship, contract, whatever you have going, and do your own thing. That's just not, we're not building equity with our fans, with our schools, but by doing that, right? If I'm a college player. So if you could embody the spirit of NFL guys coming before you, you don't have to change the game and flip the way that this thing has been working on its ear. Okay. I think the way we've seen things work in the NFL and in pro football makes a lot of sense to me. And it has made a lot of sense for a long time. It's like, let's give Todd Monken the opportunity to be the next Lou Holtz, right? Let's not sit here and find reasons to take away all of his power and ability to make the Browns the best version of themselves. He deserves the benefit of the doubt. And until he shows us that he's not qualified, it's in Shedeur Sanders' best interest to treat him like he's Lou Holtz, right? And to give Shedeur Sanders the opportunity to experience all the benefits that come with believing in your coach when your coach believes in you. So if Todd Monken sucks and falls flat on his face, Shedeur Sanders and everybody in that locker room has a right after a certain amount of time to be like, this isn't working and we need to change it. But until then, you've got to do the right thing and work to make your team and your teammates the best they can possibly be. It's asinine to take any other approach. Unless you feel like, your offensive line's terrible and you're going to get killed and like there's all other stuff, but this is not that, okay? Lofa Tatupu is coming up. And before we take a break and get to him, I do want to touch on one thing. No football this weekend. And I don't mind it. I have other things going in my life. Like and that's not like any kind of like brag or anything. Like I would rather watch sometimes a Dateline, right? A humble brag. I would rather watch a Dateline or maybe catch a new Netflix show, as opposed to, we're doing a promo for ESPN and this is like, nobody's going to see this or whatever. But I was, you do like live reads during games, like, hey, coming up on Saturday, a huge slate of college basketball. And at the end of the read, I'm saying like 12 hours of college basketball. Where would you rather be? 12 straight hours of anything for me outside of sleep is way too much. Like it's just kind of how I am. So this is a decent week for us. Like Cam, I'd like to get your take. Like a week like this, like what do you have planned? Like anything like, because you're wide open. I guess you're traveling to the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, that is kind of the other thing is I'm keeping the weekend very light because we're about to hit it hard and heavy across the country for a week.
Yeah.
But no, I think you put it really well, Pete. Like this is a nice, like take a breath weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like catch, and this is where a lot of people, including us, you more so, or me more so than you, are like kind of getting into college basketball a little bit this weekend of like football's about to end. We got to get more into this here. And so you just pick a couple college basketball games. It's colder than a polar bear's toenails here. So we're not going to be doing much outside. So you just hunker down for the weekend and kind of rest up. College hockey, but I don't think you want to get.
Where does your significant other, your fiance, come in on this?
Well, she'll
be
here.
Does she see this as an opportunity for her this weekend? Or at least Saturday, or maybe tonight, that's like, hey, you really don't have anything on the deck. I guess Baylor, which is a shame. But.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yes, it is an opportunity. But also like, I'm also like you, maybe more than I'd like to admit, of like, I just don't really want to watch sports tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think that's okay to admit. I think that's why we're good at our job.
Right. It's obviously not a day where
the
Patriots are playing or like I do Baylor stuff. Yeah. It's obviously not a day that Baylor football is playing. You know, we got to do it, right? Or the national championship game or something. But there's something like I want to watch a true crime thing tonight. I want to watch an old movie tonight.
And really, that's an opportunity to connect with your whoever, like I was getting the number last night about, my job. And for me, it's rough because even when we have these big weekends of football that's not there, I still have to work like calling a game or something. So it's like for Christy, it's like, dude, okay, so you have to watch this stuff so you can talk about it. And then when we're supposed to have a break, you're off calling a game. Like it's not a good look.
Honey, catch me in June. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the way it is. And then, but then I got this. Do you get this ever? When you're here, Cam, you're really not here.
Gotten some of that.
And I don't know that that's fair. So then I had to relitigate last night. I'm like, well, let's go. I'd like to take a look back at the past few weeks, month or so, because I think we've really been vibing. And I think when I am here, I really am here. I said, no, you may be looking at some stuff that happened months ago when I was here. Maybe I'm up working in the office, but I disagree, which is the worst idea. To just like, I still haven't found that. I still haven't found that middle of the road where it's like, you just got to agree.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I have that with more so is my meltdowns, and like, I'll have one and then, we'll have to talk it over and I'll be like, but you know what? That's my first one in weeks, man. Like I've been good. I've been good for a couple of weeks here,
Yes.
That's where it happens with me.
Cam, do you rage out?
Like you slam the door. It scared the dog. And I'm like, yeah, but it's been like 2 weeks since I've done that, like.
And by the way, we're talking about a therapist here. Like you're never going to win, Cam.
Yes, I know.
You're never going to win. That's probably why you're marrying a therapist, because you cannot get out of your own way.
Or why she's marrying me.
Yeah, that's true.
You're constant practice.
Yeah, but that's true.
Constant research.
She's a great woman, man.
She is. One of one.
One of one. All right. Mr. Tatupu is one of one. Coming back on the other side of the break. We're presented by Slovakians.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops. Made clean, made to clean.
Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's kitbag.com. Kit Bag.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
A house is a property, but we live in homes. Home sweet home, homes where the heart is. We aim to deliver the best home buying and selling experience so you can spend less time real estating and more time living.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com.
Better sleep, inspired by nature. Your back, hips, and shoulders will fall into perfect alignment in any position, meaning that you get deeper, more comfortable rest. Visit ecoterrabeds.com.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Everybody at Ecolife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
So all you have to do is tap your Popple to the back of someone's phone, like that, and they instantly get your social media and contact info right on their screen. They don't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. So get your Popple today and start impressing everyone you meet. Make it pop.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Stability.
Pete Sousa, Super Bowl week. We are presented by Slovaceks, also Crawford Austin Properties, Daniel Stark Injury Lawyer, Socorro Family Ford. We got Lofa Tatupu. I mean, this is it, man. We got the Seahawks and the Patriots. And look at the, first of all, guys, the picture of health. Looks like he's ready to play linebacker next Sunday. I mean, you just got done working out?
No, it's recovery day.
Oh, okay, recovery day. Some more recovery days, I'm sure, than about 10 years ago. So good for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, much needed rest.
All right, so you're getting your rest. You're getting ready for the Super Bowl. What about Super Bowl week, which is basically kicking off almost, you could say, this weekend? Get someone like you stirred up. What emotions does that evoke in you as a guy who played in the Super Bowl and is connected to this one in more ways than one?
Man, that's a great question. Just since the time you fall in love with the game, for me, it was 5 years old. You picture yourself out in the yard, in the big game, playing it. And it's everything you work for. I was blessed to go with a great group of guys my rookie year. And it's everything you imagine it, right? And it's the journey, right? When you look back and played in a lot of big games, and the moment is awesome, but everything leading up to it, that's what it's about.
Yeah, and enjoying the ride, right? It's something that you can tell yourself now with this great career and experience and perspective behind you. But when you're in that moment as a rookie, is it one of those things where, and I know you're a smart guy, so you're probably not like, oh, we're going to be here every year. But is there an entitlement almost of like, oh, wow, like I'm with a really good organization. We're a really good team. We should be back here. Like, what's the mentality for a rookie, like specifically?
No, absolutely. And that was on the heels of 2 great years in college. And I know it's just college, but, unless you stay perfect in college at that time, you don't get a chance at the national title, so that's also what made that so special, was we had to stay perfect. But with the NFL, it's hard, right, to win every game, which was the 72 Dolphins, only one that's done it so far. So you don't take it for granted, but that was a stretch of like 2 straight national titles, and that would have been, I guess, my personal own three-peat. And yeah, you do. You feel like, oh, this is just how it is. You put in, you sacrifice, you put in the work, and you're with a group of brothers that you love, and you're doing what you love. This great game of football. You're like, this is how it's supposed to be, and as long as we keep going, like we'll be. But then you find out, every team is its own different life, if you will. Like no team is the same every year, no matter. Even the guys. Did a podcast with Brandon Mebane, who went back to back with back-to-back Super Bowls with the Hawks, and it was a totally different team. He said that second year. It's just, it happens. There's pieces missing, and it's rare, right? Every year is special.
How about this? You talk about your USC roots. I saw a stat this week that this is the first USC quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Is that crazy, dude? Did that blow your mind?
I was like, there's no way. And you look back and yeah, it is. That is wild. You think about all the greats. I played with two of the Heisman Trophy winners in Carson Palmer and Matt Leinart, right? So
Yeah.
they were amazing. And it's wild just to think that this is the first time we've had a quarterback there.
And it's you get to the Super Bowl with Seattle. We'll go back to that. What's the one thing Mike Holmgren told you guys leading up to that game that you thought maybe in the middle of the game or after the game, because he had experience being there with Green Bay and winning one? Did he say anything that you were like, man, he was right about this? Whether it was about the long halftime or the week leading up to the game?
Everything. He had us well prepared. He said, man, it's so hard just to reach this game, and much along the lines you're talking, don't take it for granted. He's like, but soak up every moment, like the pregame, do your media obligations, right? Because that's what kind of gets, I guess, when you're going through the week, there's only so many storylines and so many things you can talk about. You're just like, man, just let me out of the fucking cage. Let me out of the cage. Sorry about that.
No, that's great. Yeah, it's awesome. It's you. I appreciate that but that's what really. I mean, you sometimes use those words to realize, to put emphasis on something. What is that like for you as a player all week long, going through like a robot, right? Like media says this, saying the same thing over and over again.
Because they're trying to find something, right? They're trying to do anything that they could cling to make it a bigger, like as if it's going to be any bigger than, like, both teams already want to kill each other. Like, we're going for the ring, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, but there's just stay the course, and I mean, and then in the downtime, I swear I watched Pittsburgh's whole season like every day, like 5 times. Just shut myself in the room and just went over everything.
And for you, how confident did that make you? That preparation, like I would imagine you show up right to Ford Field. I think when you guys were in Detroit, right? Yeah, that was.
Yes, sir.
And you're ready. You're prepared. You're probably very confident because of all the preparation you did.
Oh, I mean, it showed in the way we played. Both teams. It was a bloodbath. Like if you go back and watch it, we're clawing and scratching, and they are too. And just it's two very physical teams, and it wasn't the result we wanted, but it was the game you always dream about reaching, and you wanted to win it. But like I said, it's about the journey. I remember even going back to college, the year before when we played Oklahoma in the national championship, and you get me on the stage, and I'm waiting for this feeling. I'm waiting. Like I get the ball, I give it a kiss, and hoist it, and I'm like, this is it. I was like, where are the tears? Where are the? But I had already visualized and put myself there thousands of times leading up to it. I already, just like even the Lombardi, I had pictured holding it, and so I guess in that it was a realization to me that it was about the journey the whole time. But here's one story.
That's great insight, by the way.
Thank you. But they made the captains of each team pose with the trophy, the Lombardi. And this was the first time and only time I've ever had a superstition, I was like, I don't, respectfully, you don't touch that trophy unless you earn it. And so I was like, if I'm going to hoist that, it's after the game. And they made every captain do it. And I wonder if anybody else had any reservations about it. It was just, I had a tremendous amount of respect for that trophy. And, I pictured hoisting it since I was a kid. So I was like,
but earning it.
I'll hoist it when after the game. And they were like, just hold it for the picture.
And yeah, that gets you to do it, right?
Yeah. And it's like the one that escaped me. What's that? Lord of the Rings, my precious.
So you and your father have a connection to this game, and it's super cool. I was talking about your dad before. That was like my prime time, like just my introduction to Super Bowl was right around that time, right? Because where I am in my life, like, and that run that his team went on, he kind of eclipsed Craig James as like the number one guy in the backfield, and Craig James was a real personality, but your dad just fit like the mold of like the 80s. Like there was like Mr. T, guys like your dad, like there was that personality, what about that, your dad's experience, was he able to pass on to you, not only as a guy who played in the Super Bowl, but a guy who was an excellent football player in college and in the NFL?
Yeah, I think the coolest part about he was there in Detroit, my mom, everybody, but just getting to sit with him at a dinner and just, him telling me he was proud of me. Like, I knew he loved me, but it meant more to me when he said he was proud of me, right? As a man, just trying to earn his respect. And then also following his footsteps, playing the same game that he loved. And that the fact that he got to, watch his boy, who told him since I was 5 years old, I told him, I'm going to the NFL like you. I'm going. And I didn't play because of him, I definitely played for him and everybody that I loved, but it was what I loved and what I, wanted to do. It's the only thing I could ever imagine or picture, right, when I was a kid. And that's what I try to tell all kids, go for your dreams, but you got to visualize it and you got to speak it into existence. So when I said it when I was 5 years old, they thought it was crazy. And then after the fact, you look back and you're like, no, I just knew.
Yeah. What about your opinion on this game? Like, when you look at it, and I'm not saying, clearly you don't follow it. Like, you're not going to be watching film of the Pittsburgh Steelers all week long, or of the New England Patriots. But when you look at this game as a linebacker mentality, what's the number one thing that jumps out at you? And you can pick either offense. What about either offense is something that as a linebacker, you'd be like, oh, wow, like that excites me?
They both present a lot of problems. I look at, let's start with the Seahawks offense. They're protecting the ball well, and when you have a defense like we do, and I believe number one now, after you total up all the stats, and just if you don't turn the ball over and give them more opportunities, like you're gonna win. Like it's inevitable. And with the Patriots, while they got some guys like in the run game, but Stephon Diggs, after injury, he presents a lot of problems, and he's been really special in the playoffs. And it's he's just so crafty. And while he probably doesn't have the speed because of the injury, like he's still fast, but the quicks, he knows how to set it up almost like a point guard in basketball, in tempo and rhythm. And so he'll lull you to sleep and then he'll hit the gas, and he's still fast. It's like if you relax for even a second, he's gone.
Yeah.
But I really like that kid, Travion Henderson, though.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson's awesome. Drake May, obviously, up for the MVP, and great athlete. But I know Travion Henderson, he's special. He can do everything. He can run between the tackles, outside, power, zone. He has a great feel and for timing and understanding, but then a real threat as a receiver. And, I can see them using him a lot. Think about, the teams that Vrabel played on, Kevin Falk and then those guys.
Yeah.
And then later with Shane Vereen and just running backs that could do everything. If you could do everything and you have no weakness, it's hard to really attack something like that.
I think you missed Fourier in Seattle, but he was a Patriot. Certainly you played against him when he was with the Pats, as you did Vrabel. What was your memory of playing against those Patriots teams? I mean, you guys were both, like you said, bloodbaths, right? You guys were both very good teams at certain points. What were your memories of those battles?
Physical, right? Those are the ones that I really loved the most because, you heard about the brand of football that they played and I watched it growing up. Like, had a poster of like Lawyer Malloy on my, and then I became teammates with him. Like that was like kind of a trip. Like it was wild, right? But yeah, I grew up there, so I watched them all play, and it was everything I expected. Just an all out, barroom brawl.
Yeah, I mean, those teams, and I think you see his Patriots teams kind of playing like the ones that he played on. What was the number one thing about those teams outside of the physicality that really presented a problem when you're playing those Patriots teams?
A number of issues. It was not just the quality of the players and the discipline they had, and Belichick and those teams. The substitution, personnel, like just messing with you any way to get an advantage, and snap count changing, and a lot of people just don't. There's such little details that they mastered so well. The little details that make a huge difference in getting a free first down, and it's you tell the guys, hey guys, it's under 5 yards. Watch the hard count. So I found myself really reminding myself and the teammates of like what they could do. And like if they were around the 50, oh, we're going punt safe. Like we're not putting the punt return team out there because, he lined up Vrabel. I think Vrabel, what do you have, like 12 targets and 12 touchdowns as a.
I mean, that's it. Fourier says he stole a lot of his red zone scores. So, take that.
He was very efficient, Christian. He was very. I know Christian, man. I miss that guy. We used to work out together at Brian McDonough's gym, and in Massachusetts, in Foxborough, and but I mean, 12. He could lay claim for greatest tight end ever. Don't tell him that though. Don't tell him that. He'll put it. He'll have it on the stadium.
Definitely one of the most efficient. When you're playing in a Super Bowl, and just a couple more. You've been so generous with your time. A couple more questions. When you're playing in a Super Bowl, how long does it take you to get into the rhythm of the game? Like truly. I mean, you were a captain, so you're out there. Maybe that helps a little bit going out for the coin toss. But really, when do you officially get lathered up? How much different is it than a regular game?
Yeah, there's a lot of hurry up to wait. You're right. And so, like, you go out there, you do, you run out of the tunnel, and like it's just. And I'm just like, man, like, what time does this thing start? And then, you play the first half. It felt like it was gone like that. And like, I was like, whoa, that was a quick half, and it was a very lackluster half. I couldn't even say it was just phenomenal defense by either party. It was just like, I don't know what it was, man. But halftime, we're sitting there, and it felt like a whole day went by before we got back out there. And so, Mike's, we're going through adjustments, and in the time that we normally have, 10 minutes or whatever, it's like our body's already walking to the door, and and they're like, no, we still got like 45 minutes. It's something like that. It was crazy. And you got to get back out there. And that's something, Mike, he's like, hey, get out there, get warmed up. You have to get ready to play again. Like get a sweat going so that you're ready to go like you just played. And so that is definitely a difference. And you have to be prepared for that. And those are some of the details that like Mike really helped us with all week.
And you had a really good game. So like your second half, when you come out of the locker room, what did you do? Like, did you feel like you were finally, by the time that second half kickoff occurs, did you feel like, okay, I'm where I need to be? Or did you honestly feel like, man, I got to is it going to take me a play or two to get where I usually am?
Oh, no, I'll go out there with no warm up if I have to. Like I'm sick in the head, a middle linebacker. But yeah, I remember, what was it? It was it 7-3 at half? And I was like, hey, fellas, like we played like shit. I go, you ready to like start playing and like show them who we are? And and we did. We came out and fought, and they did too. And but yeah, that was one of those classic, just like smash mouth. Like it was a couple plays. That's all it takes in every game. And they made the plays when they had the opportunity, and we didn't.
By the way, don't think I'm not paying attention here. How the hell do you become a captain in your rookie year? How does that work?
I guess I earn the respect by showing my teammates how much I love and care about them in this game and how I prepared. At the end of the season, they vote for three more captains, and that was the first year that I was I was 6 years, and I was blessed to be a six-time captain. That's one of the coolest things I think I could ever have.
In the NFL, I mean, that is it, my man. I mean, really, what an accomplishment! Like, really, to be named by a group of your peers to a captain for the postseason after playing as a rookie. Was there a moment for you when your season turned the corner, that rookie year for you, when you felt like, okay, like not only am I a part of this team, I'm a big time contributor, but I'm also a leader?
Oh yeah, I was only playing base, first and second down, and we were in St. Louis, and we had the tough task of stopping Steven Jackson. And like I remember, I battled him since college. He was at Oregon State.
Yeah.
We were destined to just fight our whole lives. And so they get a toss or whatever to the sideline, and I run over and I hit him, or we hit each other. And I'm like a little out on my feet. So I'm like just crawling to the sideline just to like try not to get a penalty. And like when I get over there and I stand up, my coach grabs me, is like, "You're in on nickel." And I was like, I don't know. First of all, you guys have never given me any reps at nickel. Like you're because I was a rookie. They're like, just focus on first and second down. But I'm in every meeting, and this, I'm in every meeting. And even though I was given no reps, that very first play, they called cover two because it's third and long, and I'm very well versed in it from like my college days. And it was the first interception of my career. And I came to the sideline and I threw the ball at them. And I go, "I told you I could play nickel." but for me, that was personally, kind of a turning point, because then all of a sudden they're like, they got to work him in. And because I was messing up calls out there. I was prepared. I had never ran all these plays. Like there was another sub package of dime and quarter where there were blitzes and stunts, and the D line's like, "No, we got you. Like just set the front. We got the rest." I was like, "Thank you." That's time I got some help.
Isn't that pretty cool though? Like if you prove that you're good enough, and that's for anybody, they will find a place for you, right? Like they will keep you out there. They will work with you, right? When you have the attitude and the skills, the game kind of changes for you.
Absolutely. And then that could have been my only opportunity for nickel, and I was just fearless, and I went for it. I was like, well, they've never given me a chance before. Like, go for it, just like you always do. Like, I doubt they're expecting much, because they didn't even think you were worthy. I'm just saying at the time, to get practice reps at this. And so I just sat there in meetings and I took notes and I watched, and I was like, okay. So I had all the coverages down. It was more of the blitzes that, I was like one of the scout team linemen while they were running the blitzes against me, because they're like, "Hey, if you're not in, help." And so, I got a better seat watching the blitzes. So it's almost like I would have to like think about it in reverse. Oh, okay. So, I knew it more as a guard than I did as a middle linebacker.
When you look at your career, right, and now you have the opportunity, you host the all day podcast yourself. How do you find that new role? In this new venture of yours, like how do you like hosting, and as compared to playing games, and now you're able to share some of the insight that you have with us, with the common folk. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just one of the dudes too. And I think that's what people forget about, football players or athletes, or, whatever they want to call us. It's like when they meet me, they're like, "Wow, you're nothing like I thought." I was like, "Well, what kind of evil, sick person did you think I was?" Because middle linebacker, I know where they were thinking. And when you watch me play, they're probably like, "Oh, that dude's probably just an asshole."
Yeah.
but I like to have fun, and I like to do things on my terms. And football, it'll never leave me. And so getting a chance to entertain and educate and bring my personality and style to everybody is it's special. Building the own little community of not just Hawk fans but football fans, and trying to so I say stuff all the time about what I see in terms of the advantage and the strategy, and people have hit me up. They're like, "Hey, I've learned so much, and I see the game at a different perspective and light since just joining the show." Because there's certain plays I'm like, dude, that was no one's going to talk about this, but Leonard Williams or DeMarcus Lawrence taking on two guys and then still making the 4th and 1 stop, like because I know the linebacker got to run through and just tee off on the run. And we love the big guys for that, but no one ever talks about who made that opportunity for the next guy. And so I make sure to highlight it. And because, my D lineman taking on double teams, like that is one of the toughest jobs in the NFL. And the only time they talk about it is when you don't do the job. Right. And so just like O-linemen, like, they don't get the credit when there's a 250-yard rusher. They don't, like it's like, oh, it was all shout Alexander, and it was. He was awesome, but it's more like Walter Jones, Chris Gray, Hutchinson, Tobeck, Locklear. Like it was.
You guys had a good offensive line. You run some of those names, man. Jones, Hutchinson, and
go to work. It was an honor to watch them go to work, man. I was just like, oh, man, yeah. I know what play they're running. Here we go. Bring your big boy pads, linebackers. Bring your big boy pads.
I mean, those guys were maulers, and they could move, too. They were no joke.
And they moved as one. Like, that was the wildest thing is, like, I'm used to picking up on cues or stances, like any detail or degree of, like, just off. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's cheating because he's got to get somewhere. They always look the same. And then they never talk. Most linemen, bring it. I was like, oh, I'm going to bring it. He's talking to his buddy to combo block up. And I was like, you don't have time for that, dog. I'm getting the running head start right at your chest. And they were silent. And I'm just like looking around like,
wow,
this is different.
Yeah. I love what you say that moving is one. Moving is one. You can, by the way, more insight like that on the All Day podcast. Check them out. Seriously, Lofa, I can't thank you enough for taking the time today. It's a blast talking with you, man.
Anytime, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, really appreciate you, man. Wow. I mean, that's the guy's as cool as he was amazing a player, and that's really cool when you can get a chance to hang with somebody like that. Check out that All Day podcast for real. That will bring you great insight, especially Seahawk fans. All right, the Pete Sousa Show will be presented by Savacic. Stepping aside for a quick break, Cam and I will come back and wrap it up.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
Experience with the Bosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
BosleyMD.com. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's INTERNXT.com today.
Apollo Neuro is a new kind of wearable that helps your body recover from stress, that helps you calm down and feel better. You sleep better, and you can get back to being yourself. Learn more at apolloneuro.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Our patented handles were launched in 2018. We continue to push the boundaries of strength training. Join us in making your training more natural and effective. Visit Engels90.com to learn more and revolutionize your workout.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. We deliver premier protection at affordable prices and express shipping. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit opengoaalusa.com and elevate your training today.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at bill.com.
Stability.
Hey, before we wrap up, Cam, can you make yourself available? So, great job today. Lofa, how cool is he? The Polynesian Punisher.
That was awesome. That was
Dude,
awesome.
he was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, cool as the other side of the pillow.
What about having that guy on your team? Like, I really do believe there is something special about, first of all, there's something very special about the Polynesian culture, okay? But, like, as teammates, as football players, there is, like, they got something. There's something's happening, man.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been happening forever. And they've been a part of our football, the fiber that we call college in the NFL forever. But it just is really cool to chat with them.
It is. And it feels like that. Maybe it's, that emotion that he's coming with, the happy-go-lucky, but psycho on the field kind of thing. But it's like, I know everyone gives it their all and they're in the NFL, right? Like that's baseline. But to talk about a guy who goes from, by the way, Massachusetts, not much for producing pro football players. I know he's the son of an NFL guy. Then he goes to USC, is on the best team in the country. He's probably their best defensive player. He's captain there, back-to-back national champions, and then rolls right into the NFL, Super Bowl, captain, year one. Like, it's just like, it was almost as if he was made out of a lab. Like, he was kind of that perfect to fit. And by the way, I
couldn't hit on that hard enough. How impressive that is that your teammates in the NFL, and that says a lot about that Seahawks team. The more we learned about this Seahawks team, like kind of paying homage to that group that didn't win, it's interesting. Like, man, they should have won that game. They kind of got screwed by the officials, and I mean, what a team! What a team!
And by the way, I think when he was talking about posing with the trophy beforehand, I don't think the NFL did that for very long. Like there might have only been one or two Super Bowls where they did that, because I remember watching it as a kid and the people, my uncles at the Super Bowl party being like, what the hell are they doing? They haven't won it yet. Like, just like giving it one of those. They're like, can you believe this? Like, it was,
people didn't like it. People didn't like it.
And I just, it all came flooding back when he told that story. I was like, that really might have been the only one, maybe one other one, because the Patriots were in the Super Bowl the year before, and they were in 2 years after that. And I don't remember the Patriots doing it. So I wonder if it's kind of funny that he was thinking that at the time and, before anybody saw it, and that it might have been one of the only ones that happened at.
It was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. We definitely had a rooting section in southeastern Massachusetts for that Super Bowl.
Did you always follow him?
Yeah. Because there wasn't, and like, we were obviously bigger on the Patriots than Massachusetts guys playing in the NFL, but there wasn't many of them. And so, in Texas, where you are, Pete, you can go around any of these towns and they'll have a team that they're rooting for because they know a local guy who's playing in the Super Bowl, like all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In Tyler, they're all Chiefs fans now because that's where Patrick Mahomes is from.
Yeah, and the guy who had the pick for the Pats is a Louisville ISD kid.
Yeah, Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he went to not one of the ones, Hebron. I don't remember. Not Flower Mound, not Marcus, not Hebron, not Louisville, but one of those. The Louisville ISD school district, as I have come to learn from moving up to the Flower Mound area, is huge. Okay. Christy's sister Laura works in the Louisville ISD school district.
There is a big Boston sports star of recent memory who played at Marcus High School.
Marcus Smart.
I always thought that was funny. He played at Marcus High School in Flower Mound. It's pretty good.
Where did this guy go?
Gonzalez went to the Colony.
The Colony. That's where Darren Williams went. Yeah. He was good.
It's good stuff, man. So we followed Lofa, and Mark Colombo is another one. The offensive
Colombo, Boston College.
Bridgewater. Yep. It's from Bridgewater, which basically neighbors where I grew up. So
Brianna Chicken Fry.
Yeah, Brianna Chicken Fry will be familiar with Bridgewater. Yeah.
What's up with Chicken Fry? Is she what's the latest on her?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't follow her.
You went to high school with her.
I know, and then you've anointed me as like the chicken fry expert, like you know what I mean. Like
honestly, that was a good
crime expert. Like I'm the chicken fry expert.
That business paid about a year ago. Now it's like you might be out of business if you're the chicken fry expert.
Yeah, and I'm not the chicken fry expert, but yes, I mean, right.
Do you know
the street?
Do you know what I watched last night before I went to bed? And this speaks to not watching sports.
I could guess, but I don't know if that's appropriate for the show.
I watched the 2020, no, not 2020. It was actually like Nightline. Like, by the way, my father is rolling over in his grave. That Nightline, this is not my father's Nightline. It's 60, what ultimately is 42 minutes on the Beckham family, like fraying. That is not Dateline, dude. That is not Dateline. I'm not sure if Ted Koppel's still alive. I think he is. He's got to be pissed about this. Yeah. This is not good. Like, for me, it's great because I'm like, what is up with this Brooklyn Decker BS I've been hearing about? And this Brooklyn Beckham. Shout out to Brooklyn Decker.
That's what I was going to guess you were watching, but.
Well, no, Brooklyn Decker in the movie Just Go With It. That's
it speaks
elite.
for itself.
It's elite. That's Bo Derek 10. That's up there. So back to this Brooklyn Beckham situation. Are you familiar with this?
Honestly, no, which is crazy because like 3 years ago, I probably would have been all over it. 5 years ago, like Beckham family. Let's get it. I'm a big David Beckham guy, except for when he played for Manchester United. But no, I don't.
I watched the whole show. Basically, Brooklyn Decker is he's a little whip. He's entitled. He's born on third base, thought he hit a triple. He's complaining because his parents are like every other family in the world. Like, show me somebody's Facebook page or Instagram feed and then show me their real life. We get it. It's not the same. Like any kid in any family could go public, right? Problem is nobody would care about the family down the street from my mom. Like, I can promise you, there's a couple who I have in mind right now. Well, it's not exactly what the Christmas card is portraying over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
usually you do hear about these on Dateline and Nightline just after something else has happened.
Yes. But so this kid's my family, they have this carefully portrayed image and no kidding. Your parents are celebrities, dude.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they don't like my wife. And by the way, the woman that he married, she's a billionaire. So it's not like she's not trying to like I don't know why they don't like this woman. Like Posh Spice doesn't. I'm sure there's a million reasons, and Posh Spice, what she did, okay, this is the big thing that people freaked out about. So this Brooklyn guy, he's got balls on him the size of church bells. When he puts this Instagram post out, he says, my mother was extremely inappropriate at my wedding. She basically hijacked my first dance. So his wife was like literally left at the altar, right? Like watching this dance happen. And Mark Anthony is a player in all this because he was the singer at the reception.
Yeah.
And he brings Posh Spice out instead of bringing the bride out. So this kid, Brooklyn, says it was extremely inappropriate dancing. But the language makes you think that Posh Spice was like grinding the shit out of her son, right? Like, but that couldn't be from the truth.
Extremely inappropriate. Yeah.
Yes. No, she just stole the dance. Like, so it's not like, and I got to believe when that kid uses that language, he probably knows like people are going to take from this what they want. The whole
Sounds
thing
like Joe
is,
Buck talking about Randy Moss mooning the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, all right, Joe. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
come
It
on,
wasn't
that's
great.
appropriate.
But like, yeah.
Little high and mighty here. So, anyways, that's what I gleaned from the whole thing. I mean, the kid, and there was one person, you know, there's one girl, a young woman, her name's Teffy. Do you know her?
No, this is great, man. This is I'm in class right now.
Hello, Teffy. She's got an Instagram page. She's an attractive young woman, great personality. Like,
okay.
I followed her for a little while, and I think I stopped because I was like, why am I following this person? Because a news producer at our station, this woman, Alyssa, this girl, Alyssa, used to love Teffy. But she is now this Teffy woman. These people who are TikTokers are now who they pull in to analyze these situations, like they're news people, you know?
I love
which
that.
is amazing.
Pop
Like,
culture
this is now,
analyst.
these people are not paparazzi. This is not like someone writing for Page Six. This is me or you being deemed an expert on this stuff.
It's happened to me. Yeah.
Like AJ Benza. Do you remember him? AJ
I remember
Benza
the name,
was, he used to write for the Daily News. He was a Hollywood type, and he covered Hollywood for the New York Daily News. He ended up, he would do True Hollywood Stories.
Okay.
Like he would intro those. He would go on the Howard Stern show every so often to talk about what he was doing around New York City. The guy was prime time, but he was like a great gossip columnist. He was also tough. You know, he knew mobsters and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So he was a great guy to go and write about New York City. That AJ Benza role is now gone. You know what I mean? Like there's really no, I mean, there's sure TMZ guys or whatever, but most of these personalities, like based on what, you know, like, but anyways, so yeah, I was blown away by this whole situation, but the long way of saying I was upset at the end of this. They were like, you know, you just don't know what it's like to be a Nepo baby, to be born into this, how rough that can be. And I keep an open mind. And for like 4 seconds, I was like, no. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for a billionaire.
Yeah, and especially when you go to, you know, you marry someone else who's a billionaire. You know what I mean? It's like feeling bad for like Meghan Markle and Harry. And I'm like,
Meghan Markle.
I just can't, man. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, you. Like, I try, but,
get out of here, dude.
Like, I get that your life is not like mine, but you're literal royalty. Like, you can do anything you want. Prince Harry dressed up as a Nazi for a Halloween party, and like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like,
I would behoove all those people to seek therapy and to go to some, I don't know, go do a ropes course, do something that sucks. I don't know, like, and come back and have a little bit of appreciation. All right, look, that wraps it up for today. I did want to ask you, we'll touch a little next week because you and I had something going earlier this week, and I heard another outlet. It was actually Dan Patrick's show. They were talking about the expenses of being a sports fan and how it's gotten too expensive, and how that chicken could be coming home to roost. I don't believe that, but it is interesting. I think it's better than ever. The problem is if we want to experience the better than ever, it costs money. Like when I was growing up, you could see 4 games in a weekend, and that would be awesome for the NFL. Now it's like you can watch every game all season, but you probably have to pay like $900, you know? Which,
and that's just watching the games, let alone going to a game.
Going to a game,
it's impossible.
I don't know that that's even fair. It's very unfortunate. Like when I was, because my mom gets mad, but she won't be watching this. My parents we were that family. My parents got a great deal on a house, which turned into a very nice house in a very nice neighborhood. But they were always over their skis trying to pay for this house and keep up with the Joneses. That wasn't their idea. They weren't phony people, but that's the neighborhood we lived in. So, I always felt like we couldn't afford to go to the NFL. We couldn't. I mean, this is back in the late 80s, early 90s. Like our parents, we could afford it, but it would have broken the bank. You know what I mean? We were kind of just, hey, this is good. Let's not do any extra. So I can only imagine what it's like for the regular parent to take their kid to a game. I mean,
and even now, like versus when I was a kid, like we would go to games. It was tough to go to games just ticket availability wise in Boston. Like the Red Sox, when I was growing up, they sold out for like every game 6 straight years. Patriots, you had to know somebody. Like you couldn't just buy a ticket. We would go when my dad's company would get tickets. That was it.
That's when we would go.
Yeah, that's it. We never bought tickets. Like I don't know if my dad knows how to buy a ticket, And like we were healthy. You know what I mean? I'd get to go to a couple of Red Sox games a year, 2 or 3. We had a rotation because you'd always only get 2 tickets. So we'd have a rotation between me and my brothers. And we're like, oh man, I hope I'm in the rotation for this game. Or like, oh, I kind of got this shitty one. Sorry. And like I've missed out on my opportunity. So yeah, it was the same thing. Like that's how we got it. Can I share one real quick story before we go?
Absolutely.
Since now that we're talking about games and my dad, Lou Holtz story, because my dad loved and probably still loves like teaching life lessons through sports. It was usually the Patriots was where we would get some good life lessons on preparation and foresight and that kind of thing. But he had a great one. He actually taught in Sunday school about Lou Holtz when he was coaching Arkansas and the 78 Orange Bowl.
School, your dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bulldozer. Yeah.
Nice.
So he talked about Lou Holtz at Arkansas in the 78 Orange Bowl. They played Oklahoma, and UT had lost earlier in the day. So Oklahoma, if they win, are the national champions. And this is, 78. This is like Billy Sims, Barry Switzer, like loaded Oklahoma team, obviously. And Arkansas was heavy underdogs. And their left tackle got hurt in the last practice before the game. And Lou Holtz suspended their number 1 wide receiver and their 2 starting running backs for disciplinary things off the field. Suspended them, their best players, for the game. And everyone thought Arkansas was going to lose already. Now they're going to get their butts kicked. And he wrote on the chalkboard. Bill did, not Lou Holtz. 31-6. Arkansas beat the crap out of them. Because, Lou Holtz, he stuck to his standards and he believed in his guys and no one was above the team. And this is in Sunday school. And I'm like 11. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. And you got this great life lesson out of Lou Holtz, not at the Revival at South Carolina, not with the great success at Notre Dame, but through Arkansas. And he actually gave me another great Lou Holtz one years later when I was in TV news and I was hating it. And we're all working off of contracts and,
TV news sucks.
That's a whole nother. But he was like the importance of looking over your contract and all this, because he told the story about how Lou Holtz had it in, I guess it was Minnesota, either Minnesota or Arkansas, whichever one was before Notre Dame, that this was the term of his contract unless Notre Dame offered him the job. Like he could get out of the contract if Notre Dame offered him the job. So we'd be like, remember the Lou Holtz contract, always got to know, know what.
Did you have a loophole?
No, I didn't have.
What was your out? Rockville Baylor?
No. But it was like a 2-pronged thing. Look at your contract first, but also it was a lesson on know what your goal is, know where you want to be. So got some good Lou Holtz.
This bulldozer guy.
Oh, there's all kinds of great. Can I give you one more?
Yes.
More? Because these couple were at Sunday school, but this one was at when he was our scoutmaster. And at the end of every meeting, he would have what was called the Scoutmaster.
Boy Scouts?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to a family of Eagle Scouts, man.
You're an Eagle Scout?
I am an Eagle Scout, yeah.
So if something goes wrong next weekend, you can save us?
With the camera? No. No, I could tie a clove hitch, but that's about it.
You're an Eagle Scout.
I am an Eagle Scout. Yeah.
Wow, what a revelation. Go ahead.
Thank you. Look where it's gotten me. But he would do the Scoutmaster Minute at the end of these. One was super morbid. And it actually had to do with UT. I'll save that one for another day. But the sports one was
UTIs or UT?
The University of Texas.
Just UT, okay.
Yeah. He talked about the sports one, Jim Sundberg, who was a good catcher for the Rangers in the 70s, made a couple all-star teams.
I know who he is, yeah.
And yeah, he was a big Christian guy, and he would go and he would speak in prisons. And he would talk about
his name was just close enough to Ryan Sandberg that he was on my radar.
There you go. There you go. And he would give like the power of positive thinking kind of speeches, right, in these prisons. And, you know, he would talk about how every day his dad would come home from work and he would play catch with me and he would throw me balls to hit. And like, we were practicing my catching. And every day he told me, you know, we keep working. You're going to do great things. You're going to go play college baseball. You're going to play in the major leagues. You're going to be great. And you tell him it every day. And it was to the point where I was just believing it. I was working and I believed it. And then I got there and I just thought about my dad. You know, that's kind of what Jim Sundberg was talking about. And after one of the presentations, one of the inmates came up to him and he said, you know, Jim, I really appreciated that speech. I really resonated with it. You know, it reminded me a lot of my dad. And Jim said, you know, that's great. You know, may I ask, like, you know, what happened? If this was like your dad, you know, do you like kind of what happened? And he said, well, my dad was just like your dad, except he told me every day that I wasn't going to amount to anything, that I was going to be in prison. I was going to be a loser. And he was like this gobsmacked moment in the scout meeting. And he was like, you know, the power of positive thinking is great, but it was all about who you surround yourself with, what you're willing to believe. And it was like this great harrowing story. And he just mic dropped it.
Let's go. Dude, that's a really good story, man.
It's some good stuff. The Bulldozer has some good stories, man.
Is he like a preacher or something?
No, but he totally could have been. He's a good public speaker, man. He really is. He's Mr.
Wow.
HSA. Yeah.
I can't wait till we have him on this show, dude.
He's been on my show before.
I know. We'll get him to talk about Bernie Carbo on here. Because I know
it was the 75 World Series when he came on. He talked about Pete Rose and
Visser's pretty excited for potential as we get into baseball season. So, yeah. That's the Grand Poobah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So we're going to end. And then I need to talk to you for a second.
All right.
But yeah, guys, we're fired up. Thank you for watching today. This actually turned into a great show. Sorry for some of the technical issues. I guess we didn't have technical issues, but I need to have a better. The sound needs to be better. I'm going to hear about it from some people, but that's good news because people are listening and watching. All right, that'll do it. Next time we see you, it'll be Super Bowl week, and we can't wait. So thank you, Sabachics. Thank you, everybody else. We'll see you.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
Nalgene Outdoor has been your trusted companion, fueling adventures and helping protect the planet. We're committed to reducing waste, improving access to clean water, and providing simple, safe, and sustainable products for you and your family. NALGENE.com.
Our professional
professionals are not only experts in managing urgent concerns, but also in providing top-notch preventative health care. We're proud to connect pet owners to a vast network of licensed veterinary professionals, ready to address any immediate concerns. Book your first appointment today.
Sports.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.